Yo, what's going on, guys? This is a quick little tip for you. My name is Yo Boy Classy. I'm about to go over a few things with the UI. I made a video in the past, it's about 20 minutes or so, explaining the UI with like chapters so you can kind of skip between each chapter. But today, I'm talking specifically about this specific tab. Now, this is how I like to set up my stuff. Of course, you can do your own thing. I'm going to go ahead and explain why I set up these things the way I set them up and how you can do it. So basically what I like to do here is info, and the reason being is that when you go to registration, for example, each league has its own rules. Like for the Belgium league, for examples, I have to have 8 minimum players who were developed in Belgium for 3 years before their birthday, for the 23rd birthday actually. I also have to have 3 goalkeepers. No excuses, no way around it, and a minimum squad size of 15. So each squad has its own rules. So then here, once the info is there, you can kind of understand like which one was happy about the bonus that I gave them, which one is homegrown, and so on and so forth. So it is always good to have that to understand, like if somebody's injured, if somebody's unregistered. Like let's just say you transfer list this dude and transfer list this dude and transfer list this dude. You don't want to just go over each one and find them, right? You can just go info and find all the players that were transfer listed. Like for example, these ones are all uh, reacting really well to the bonuses. So it's always good to have the information about the player. Second thing I like to do is go for nation. Sometimes I go do a whole save when I'm just saying, okay, I'm managing in Belgium. I just want to have Belgian players throughout my entire squad. This is not the type of save that I do that, but I've done that in the past in Germany and England and in many, many countries before. So it is good, always good to know how many players I have of each nation. This is why I set this up here. Now you also have position. There are a couple things you can do. You can either do position or best position. If you do position, it's just going to say DC, like defender central, DM central. Like it's only going to give you their best position. But the way I like to play is I like to buy a lot of players who are flexible and versatile, so where they have more than one specific, um, you know, position that they can occupy. So, for example, here you have 2 goalkeepers. This guy can play in the center, but he can also be on the right side. So it's more fun. It's if you are trying to build a squad that is more versatile, that you can make a lot of rotations. Like I make a lot of rotations. The way I see it, if you are a player on my team, you're going to play and you're going to play a lot. I don't care if you're a 17-year-old or a 35-year-old. If you are in my team at the end of the transfer window, you're playing. If you're not playing, I failed, for example. So I like to have that. And for example, I failed with this guy, because I wanted to sell Peter Musa because it's getting old. I was going to cash in on him, but I wasn't getting any offers. So I opted to get rid of this guy that I got for free on the January transfer window. And then, I opted to just keep this guy as a striker. He's still a good player, but, I really don't need him when I have like 5, 6, 7, no pun intended, central midfielders that I can rely on. So I failed with this one, but I've learned my lesson and I'm going to do better in the future. Now, when it comes to age, obviously, I don't have to explain this. Sometimes you want to have a full squad of just under 21s. I've done this in the past. Just something to have to know how many players you have in every age group. So, this is something to have. Player, obviously, you have the players' names. I like to sometimes know who's my top goal scorer, who's my top assist. As the season goes by, it's really good to have it to kind of understand who's really doing good this season, who's not. I also like to see the ability and the potential ability. Obviously, it's all based on the players in the squad. I understand that this is my best defensive midfielder, and then this is probably like the worst. So it's always good to have the ability and the potential ability that each player would have, and then the morale is one of the most important things. There's ways to keep them happy. Like this guy is doing really good, but he's not superb. So the couple things I can do to him is go an interaction and praise. I'm not gonna praise his recent form because he hasn't been doing really well. Last game he wasn't really doing well. We conceded 3 goals, So training, you can do a whole bunch of stuff. You can talk to them about the conduct, and it's going to improve their morale overall over time. Now, rating, I don't have to explain. You can kind of understand which 11 is playing the best in your team by the rating. You can sometimes play the best 11 might not be the person's name or their ability. Sometimes the best 11 is the highest rating. This is their last 5 games, I believe, so it's always good to have that. And of course, the transfer value. Now, if you don't like something about this, you're more than welcome to change it. You can, if you say, I don't want the goals to be here, actually, I want them to be right here, you can just drag it. You can drag and put shit wherever you want it to be. You want the morale to be right here, go ahead, have it right here. I don't like it here, so I'm not gonna use it. Where was it? I think it was like right here, right? Where was it? Come on. Right here? No, yeah, I think it was like, yeah. But you can also like see, you can do this and where is it? Make it smaller, make it longer. You can also click this, right click and say auto size this column and auto size all columns, to make them smaller. If you don't like this list of ages, you can also just do remove this column altogether, or you can replace it with something else. For example, you can replace it with the general happiness, with the hierarchy, with the progress, with everything you can say, you can see, you can change. Now, I know I haven't been making a lot of Football Manager content. It's because this computer is ass. If I record something that's longer than 10 15 minutes, I have to do it in parts because my computer is ass. It's not even a computer, bro, it's a laptop. But I'm trying my best to give you guys content with what I have. Sometimes the sound glitches or the video glitches if I record for too long. So this is the only limit that I have in giving you guys Football Manager content. But if you do like my content, there is a playlist that allows you to find only Football Manager content, instead of just scrolling down all of my shorts, all of my longs videos, all of my lives. Kind of just see only Football Manager content. If you want some advice on youth setup, if you want some advice on the recruitment, or anything that you want advice on or like help, I can kind of teach you with what I've learned. But this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing so far. Like I think I'm doing all right. I mean, we are considering quite a few goals, and you need to understand why. And I'm not kidding. I just created this tactic right now, and this is like what I want to test and see. Oh, what the hell? Oh, okay. I know I can fix it. It means that, for example, watch. This is the issue, right? Like they're not positioned in the same spot. Dillard, and then Beijing or whatever. Beijing. Okay, now it's fixed. I don't know how it's going to react yet. I don't know if I'm going to position these players where they think they should be positioned based on my team and how I know how my players like to play. So I will definitely test this tactic, and if it's actually going to be a bomb, I'll make a video about it. But I've been your boy Classy. This has been 8 minutes of some good tips and good update. We needed this update for Football Manager, so hopefully you guys like it. I'll see you on the next video.